raped an underage person, an illegal alien who raped an underage American. Your office reduced those charges to a misdemeanor charge of consensual sex with a child 15 years and older. You offered him a 90-day suspended jail sentence. Is that correct?
Sir, based on the evidence that we had in the case?
So it is correct.
But it's not related to the policy, sir.
So that is.
Welcome back to Freedom Forge. If you believe in law, order, and putting the safety of American citizens first, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us because what we're about to break down today should concern every single American paying attention. Today's Senate hearing focuses on prosecutorial decisions, immigration policy, and how justice is being applied in cases involving illegal immigrants. Specifically, lawmakers are questioning how prosecutors weigh immigration status when making charging decisions, and whether those policies are leading to lighter punishments in serious criminal cases.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing on a really important issue that I think a lot of Americans care very deeply about. Mr. Descano, I want to start with you. I've got a couple questions for you. I've got a document titled Guidelines for Plea Bargaining Charging Decisions and Sentencing. And it states that prosecutors shall consider the collateral immigration consequences of the specific crimes the defendant is charged with and the detrimental impact the deportation removal has on the families and community. Not from your campaign website, this is the official policy document as well. Is that correct? Do you recognize this?
Yes, you read a portion of the policy, sir.
That's right. I'm not going to read the full thing.
I don't expect you, sir.
It's about 11 pages, so I'm not going to read the full thing. I want to better understand how you weigh an illegal alien's immigration status whenever you're making charging decisions. Do you know who Ander Jose Cortez Mendez is? Are you familiar with that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a Guatemalan illegal alien who was arrested in March of 2024. He was initially charged with, quote, carnal knowledge of a 13 to 14-year-old. Just for those of us who aren't lawyers, can you describe just very briefly what does carnal knowledge of a 13 to 14-year-old mean in this context?
Well, sir, generally a charge like that would typically refer to underage sex.
Okay, so he raped an underage person, an illegal alien who raped an underage American. Your office reduced those charges to a misdemeanor charge of consensual sex with a child 15 years and older. You offered him a 90-day suspended jail sentence. Is that correct?
Sir, based on the evidence that we had in the case?
So it is correct.
But it's not related to the policy, sir.
So that is correct. I just want to ask you, whenever you were making that charging decision to reduce the charge, how did you weigh the defendant's immigration status?
Well, sir, to be clear, I was not the lead prosecutor in that case.
It was your office.
Oh, absolutely, sir. I, of course, rely on my team of 50-some attorneys to do cases. But I think what is important is that oftentimes, as you know, sir, as a prosecutor, you know, we're constrained by the evidence. We're constrained.
I just need to know how did you take into account the defendant's immigration status?
Well, sir, again, I'm saying
making that decision. How did your office make that determination?
Well, what I would say is that, and thank you for clarifying. If you take a look at the immigration consequences policy, or
let me ask it a different way. Did your office reduce charges against this illegal alien from a felony rape charge to a misdemeanor charge with a 90-day suspended jail sentence, in part because this was an illegal alien in question?
No, this was evidentiary based.
It was evident. It had nothing to do with the defendant's immigration status.
So when
your testimony?
If you read the policy, you'll see that
did it have anything to do with the defendant's immigration status? It's just yes or no.
Well, sir, it was based on the evidence.
I'm asking you, was their immigration status part of the evidence?
I don't believe so.
Yes or no? You don't believe so. Your policy says that you shall consider their immigration status.
Sir, if you actually read the whole policy, it explicitly carves out cases.
Prosecutors shall consider the collateral immigration consequences of the specific crimes the defendant is charged with and the detrimental impact that deportation removal has on the It
It also mentions that it's not outcome determinative. It also
I understand, and I'm asking you if your office weighed the defendant's immigration status in making your charging decisions here?
Oh, again, sir, I was not the lead prosecutor in this
I'm
case,
asking for your office. I understand you're not the lead prosecutor.
Exactly. I just want to be clear. But the way that the policy is written, that case should not have fallen under the rubric of this policy. This is a narrow policy and is meant to be a narrow policy.
An illegal alien, I think that would qualify, would it not?
Well, no, sir, because again, the way that the policy is being presented as it is outcome determined.
There would be
case.
immigration consequences based on what charge you bring. That would clearly apply to this case.
No, sir. Again, that's the reason why I mentioned earlier. You read a portion, but not the entire 2 paragraphs of this subheading.
Prosecutors shall consider. I just want to know, just give me a yes or no answer. Did you take into account the defendant's immigration status?
Sir, again, I was not, but the way the policy,
did your office
the
take
way
it?
the
It's a yes
policy
or no
is written,
question.
no, they should not have taken.
They should not have.
That. That is not outcome determinative in a case like this, sir.
Great. Thank you. My time's up.
Mr. Grothman.
Yeah, I had another hearing, so I apologize if I'm...
Now let's get into what really happened here, because this is where things start to get uncomfortable. A senator brings up a policy document that clearly states prosecutors are supposed to consider the immigration consequences of charging decisions. That means when someone is in this country illegally and they commit a crime, prosecutors are actually instructed to think about how deportation or removal might impact that person and their family. Now, think about that for a second. We're talking about the American justice system, where the priority should be protecting American citizens, enforcing the law, and delivering justice to victims. But instead, we're hearing that prosecutors are being told to factor in how consequences might affect someone who broke our immigration laws to begin with. And then comes the case that really sets this hearing on fire. An illegal immigrant, identified as a Guatemalan national, was charged with what is described as underage sexual activity involving a minor. We're not talking about a minor offense. We're talking about a serious crime involving a young victim. The original charge reflects that severity. But then the charges were reduced from a felony-level offense down to a misdemeanor. And not just that, a 90-day suspended sentence. That means no real jail time. Let that sink in. A serious crime involving a minor, reduced to a slap on the wrist. Now, the senator does exactly what you would expect a representative of the people to do. He presses for answers. He asks directly, did the defendant's immigration status play a role in this decision? And what do we get? Deflection. We were constrained by the evidence. I wasn't the lead prosecutor. It had nothing to do with immigration status. But here's the problem. The policy itself clearly states that immigration consequences should be considered. So either the policy is meaningless, or it's being applied in ways they don't want to openly admit. And that's where trust starts to break down. Because Americans watching this are asking a very simple question. Are we applying the law equally, or are we creating a two-tiered justice system? One where American citizens are held to the full weight of the law, and another where illegal immigrants get special considerations? Now, to be fair, prosecutors do have to work with evidence. That's true. Cases can fall apart if the evidence isn't strong enough. But that's not what this hearing felt like. What we saw was a clear attempt to avoid giving a straight answer to a very direct question. Did immigration status matter? Yes or no? And instead of clarity, we got confusion. Instead of transparency, we got word games. And that's exactly why hearings like this matter. Because without oversight, these decisions happen behind closed doors, and the American people never get to see how justice is actually being carried out. Let me be clear about something. This is not about being anti-immigrant. This is about being pro-law, pro-victim, and pro-accountability. If someone commits a serious crime, especially one involving a child, the priority should be justice for the victim, not minimizing consequences because of potential immigration outcomes. The law should be blind. It should not bend based on someone's status. And what we're seeing here raises serious concerns about whether that principle is still being upheld. Because if policies are encouraging prosecutors to think about deportation consequences before delivering justice, then we need to have a real conversation about what our priorities are as a country. Are we protecting citizens, or are we protecting offenders? Are we enforcing the law, or are we negotiating it? That's what this hearing is really about. And the fact that clear answers were so hard to come by should tell you everything you need to know. This is why you have to stay informed. This is why you have to pay attention. Because these decisions don't just affect one case, they set precedents. They shape how justice is applied across the country. If you believe in equal justice, if you believe in accountability, and if you believe that the safety of American citizens should always come first, then you need to keep your eyes on stories like this. Make sure you like this video, subscribe,